My name's Anna Wills. I'm the Managing Director of Tonic in the UK. It's interesting actually. We did a big piece recently called Life Begins At, which was we ran a community which we paid for and ran ourselves amongst 40 to 60-year-olds, looking at kind of what life means for them, and they talked about finance and dating and all sorts of different things that were going on in their lives. And actually it was incredibly rich, and it was sort of to prove that this older generation absolutely engaged with this community methodology. Weirdly, it's the younger audiences that we find are hardest to engage, partly because they have so much competing for their time online. You know, they're doing a lot of stuff. And the other thing is, I think, you know, without wanting to be too cliched, younger people are less reliable in terms of completing tasks, you know, and doing, they're off doing lots of other things as well. So those are probably the hardest people to engage, and you certainly have to get creative with your task design for them. You know, they've seen it all before, they're not as easily impressed. I think it's more expensive in the short term, so obviously you have that setup and running costs, you know, to get it going. But then after that it becomes so much more cost effective. And as I said before, I think it really, you know, it brings insight into the heart of conversations that it wasn't in before. It allows you to test and learn from things that you wouldn't necessarily have had that information before. So from that perspective, you know, it really opens things up and adds value, if you like, beyond what other research does. And I think, you know, people often, some of our clients have it at the sort of centre of their insights, like the sort of hub of their insight, if you like, and everything that they do kind of springs from that. They might do some groups, or they might decide to do, you know, a different type of approach, but it's things coming out of the community that have led to that. So it does seem to be at the heart of a lot of clients' businesses. I mean, I think the quality is excellent. I mean, we've done a lot of work in this area. You know, we've been on a journey with it from when we first started out, and we were doing online focus groups and then realising that wasn't quite the best way to do it. We do a lot of work on understanding what people's reward kind of motivations are. And so we have a range of different kind of incentive structures, from kind of cold hard cash through to things that make them a little bit famous on the community, through to kind of clients telling them what they've done with the results. So we try and incentivise people in lots of different ways in order to tap into lots of different people's motivations and keep them kind of going and engaged, and stopping it just being a transactional relationship just for money, if you like. The other thing we do, as I said, is spend a lot of time thinking about task design and thinking about the most engaging ways to kind of get answers from people, and how to go that bit deeper and get some real richness about their lives, and how to incorporate kind of multimedia responses so that we can put together really engaging things and insightful things for the clients. You know, communities can be really strategic actually. It's just about getting the right, framing the questions and the task design in the right way. It's also about making sure that your recruitment, that you're recruiting the right people to answer the questions. You know, we sometimes have Uber consumers on our communities who are really creative and advanced in terms of the subject area, so that they can really push people and push the thinking onwards. So that's another way that we make sure that we get what we need. Yeah, I think they already are. I think, you know, we see it with a lot of our clients. They've moved a lot of their, or if not all of their, spend into a community. I think there'll always be a role for face-to-face approaches, and certainly we still do that kind of work on certain projects. What we're seeing is a lot of combination work, so people doing a pop-up community and then they're doing some depths with some of the community members, or they're doing a community but they're doing some Skype interviews as well, you know, to add on depending on what the business objective is. So we do see it in combination a lot of the time too. Yes, not really. I still think, you know, it's still the sort of core skills of being a great thinker and being a personable client service person and all of those things. I don't think that's particularly changed. The only difference I would say is we've hired people specifically from a technology background to work on the technology. So that's probably the only change.
Source LF are London's leading creative communications and media recruitment agency. Be sure to like our video and subscribe to this channel. Take the moment to watch another of our videos on screen now.